Manchester City entered the 2024-25 season as four-time defending champions, expected to cement their place as the most dominant dynasty English football had ever seen. Instead, they lost the league title and finished the campaign trophyless. For a club that had ruled English football under Pep Guardiola, the collapse was shocking, and suddenly City looked vulnerable, raising doubts about whether their era of dominance was over. But football has a way of testing great teams, and City's response to failure has often been to rise even stronger. What followed was one of the most ruthless rebuilds in recent memory, a transfer strategy designed not just to patch holes, but to create an entirely refreshed squad. As the upcoming season begins, many believe this could be the scariest Manchester City side the Premier League has ever faced. Every team faces its breaking point, and Manchester City hit theirs last season. The trophyless campaign did more than expose vulnerabilities. It reminded Guardiola and his players that even the most dominant force can slip if overconfidence creeps in, or if squad depth falters. The cracks were visible. Rodri's ACL injury and KBD's constant injury laid bare a lack of reliable midfield cover. In Europe, where City's hunger for the Champions League has always burned brightest, they came up short again. Yet this failure has now become their fuel. Guardiola is no stranger to reinventing his teams, and City's 2025 rebuild feels similar to the times he reshaped Barcelona and Bayern Munich after setbacks. Instead of allowing disappointment to spiral, City used it as motivation to sharpen their identity and refresh their squad. The past summer was not a quiet window of small adjustments. It was a decisive restructuring designed to erase weakness and add unpredictability. Pep himself admitted that 2024-25 taught the squad a brutal lesson in mentality. His mantra for the new season has been clear: hunger must match talent. City's players have been pushed to respond with greater intensity, and the early signs suggest they are ready to reassert themselves at home and abroad. The setback may go down as the moment City transformed into an even stronger machine. The 2025 calendar year has witnessed one of the most ambitious squad reshuffles in Manchester City's modern history. The changes were targeted and strategic, born from necessity as much as vision. Last January alone, City poured $218 million into rebuilding the squad, addressing problems that had left them exposed. They added defensive steel, midfield depth, and attacking variety, refusing to let Rodri's injury or their shaky backline derail another season. Rodri's absence exposed how dependent City had become on their Spanish anchor, and opponents exploited the gap. To address it, City acted swiftly. They signed Abdülkadir Kusanov from Lens for $40 million and Vitor Reis from Palmeiras for $37 million, two defenders whose physicality and composure immediately added steel to the back line. Omar Marmoush was brought in from Eintracht Frankfurt for $75 million to offer another cutting edge in attack, while Nico Gonzalez joined from Porto for $60 million to provide a box-to-box midfield presence during Rodri's struggles. These moves stabilized a faltering campaign, but they were only the beginning. The real transformation unfolded in the summer of 2025. Guardiola and the board weren't finished. The summer of 2025 brought another $174 million in spending, turning a wounded side into one of the most balanced squads City has ever assembled. For years, Kevin De Bruyne had been City's heartbeat, but time is ruthless, and recurring injuries combined with age meant the club had to make a difficult decision. His move to Napoli on a free transfer closed one of the most glittering chapters in City's history. Kyle Walker, another club legend, also departed, joining Burnley. Both exits symbolize the passing of the torch to a new generation. Their replacements highlight Guardiola's intent to construct a more versatile and youthful side. Ryan Ait-Nouri arrived from Wolves for $37 million, finally solving the left-back imbalance that has occasionally troubled City. Ryan Cherki joined from Lyon for $36 million, offering flair, creativity, and the kind of unpredictability that can break low blocks in the Premier League. Tijani Reinders came from AC Milan man for $55 million, adding balance and press resistance in central midfield. 𝐟𝐨𝐫𝐞, a teenage prodigy from Rosenborg, signed for $15 million, symbolizing City's eye on the future. And James Trafford returned for $31 million to compete for the goalkeeper spot and eventually take the mantle in the long term. Beyond the transfer fees, the long-term vision has been just as important. Erling Haaland committed to a new 10-year contract that cements him as the face of the project, and Captain Ruben Dias extended his deal until 2027, ensuring the defensive leader remains at the heart of the back line. This rebuild is not just about replacing legends, it is about ensuring the city has depth and tactical variety to adapt to every situation. Grealish was loaned out to rediscover form, while academy talents like Djouma Ba and Davin Mubama were sent out for experience. The trimming of the squad, including the release of veteran Scott Carson, signaled Guardiola's clarity. Sentiment would not outweigh ambition. Manchester City's side is potentially the most intimidating in the Premier League because of balance, hunger, and depth. City now have a squad that looks equipped to dominate in every phase of the game. Their defensive core has been bolstered with Kusanov and Reis. Guardiola has subtly shifted his approach by reinventing the fullback roles. Instead of the inverted systems, City have moved toward more traditional right and left backs, giving their play a balance that was missing last season. Ryan Ait-Nouri's arrival offers width and reliability on the left, while Lewis at right back provides stability and energy on the opposite flank. It is a return to fundamentals that allows City to stay solid defensively while still unleashing their attacking firepower. In midfield, the combination of Reinders, Gonzalez, and Rodri gives Guardiola a trio capable of controlling matches with power and precision. Up front, Marmoush adds versatility alongside Haaland, while Cherki's creativity ensures City has more unpredictability in the final third. But beyond the names, it is the mentality that makes this group frightening. After the shock of finishing third and going trophyless, the squad has been hardened. The tactical options available to Guardiola are staggering. He can rotate without dropping quality. He can shift between possession-heavy domination and fast transitions. And unlike last season when injuries stretched the squad, this team now has depth across every line. Rivals like Liverpool and Arsenal remain strong, but City's ability to bounce back from adversity makes them unique. Manchester City's 2024-25 campaign was a rare stumble for a club that has defined English football for the past decade. Yet rather than signaling the end of their dominance, it may prove to be the catalyst for their most frightening chapter. A ruthless rebuild, a refreshed mentality, and a squad stacked with depth and talent have positioned them to reclaim their throne. City's 2025-26 campaign might be the season when Manchester City reminds everyone that their era is far from over.